What's up guys, it's Tristan with the Pearrow Group, and today I'm going to tell you about buydowns, interest rate buydowns that you pay at closing to reduce your interest rate and whether or not they're right for you. So let's dive in and start with the basics. Now, an interest rate buydown, what is it? Basically, it's a lump sum that you pay at closing to reduce your interest rate either permanently or temporarily. Now, it's not always paid by you, the buyer. Sometimes an interest rate buydown can be paid by the seller or by the builder as well. Now, the first important thing to consider is, should you do the buydown in general? Now, a good way to know whether or not a buydown is going to be worth it for you to pay as the borrower is, hey, do you have the budget for it? Do you have extra money at closing that you want to put towards this interest rate buydown? B, how much is it actually reducing your monthly payment? And how much is it actually reducing your interest rate? Now, these two things are going to go hand in hand. And if an interest rate isn't significantly reduced, a monthly payment is usually not going to be significantly reduced either, because a quarter or even a half of a point on an interest rate is usually not going to be that big of a deal on a monthly payment. As a matter of fact, I talk about this in other videos, but the best way to reduce your monthly payment is to get cheaper taxes, cheaper insurance, or a lower purchase price. That's going to have a much bigger impact on what you pay every month for your home. Now, the other thing you want to consider when it comes to an interest rate buydown is, how long are you going to stay in this house? Most people on average actually only keep their mortgage for 3 to 5 years. So if you plan on refinancing or moving in the next 3 to 5 years, or turning the property into an investment property, you might really not want to worry about paying an interest rate buydown. On the other hand, if you're thinking, I never want to do this again, this is my mortgage for life, I'm going to pay this thing off, it's going to be 30 years, I'm in it forever, then a buydown might be right for you. Or even if you plan on keeping the mortgage for 7 to 10 years, you can start to see some savings pretty soon after these buydowns go into play. So how do these buydowns work? Well, your lender is going to discuss your specific buydown options that are going to be based on your loan program, the rate, the terms, everything to do with your particular transaction. But in general, like we said, it's going to be a lump sum of money. It's going to be added into your closing costs at closing, and it's going to buy down your interest rate. So for example, I'll put up on the screen right next to me so that you can see visually. Let's say that the going interest rate was 6.5, and you wanted to buy it down 1 whole point. There'd be a dollar amount attached to that 1 point that you're going to buy it down, and you would pay that at closing, and you'd get a 5.5. So 1 point reduction from 6.5 to 5.5. You pay the amount at closing one time, and forever and ever, your interest rate is going to be 5.5, fixed interest rate. Let's say it was a 30-year loan, fixed rate loan. Okay, so that is how your buydown would go, and you can buy it down within reason as much as you want. However, there are some points at which certain compliance issues will come up if you are buying the interest rate down too much, because there are some rules in place to make sure that things are affordable and make sense. So if you were going to spend like $30,000 on a buydown on a $300,000 home, there would be compliance issues there that would stop you from being able to do that, because there are formulas that they have to look at these things and make sure that they actually make sense for you financially, and if they don't, they're not going to let you do that. And that's a good thing, because who knows, maybe an inexperienced loan officer would accidentally make a suggestion, or maybe a buyer that really wants an aggressively low interest rate would think that that was a good thing to do. And so there are some safeguards in place to make sure that consumers don't make mistakes like that. Now, currently, there's another type of buydown that's very popular, and this is a really, really great deal for anyone who's buying a home currently. And this buydown isn't paid by you. It's actually paid by a builder or a seller. And the way that it works is, it is a temporary interest rate buydown. It doesn't last forever, but it is a very nice program, because what it does is it alleviates the higher interest rate market that we're in a little bit of those higher monthly payments that people are experiencing for a little while, until things can settle down and they can go and get into a lower interest rate or have more equity in the home, get a little bit of a better interest rate that way. And so the way these works are essentially, if a seller or builder agrees, which oftentimes they do, and I'll talk about why they're incentivized to do this in a little while, you will get the option to choose between a 3-2-1 buydown, a 2-1 buydown, or a 1-1 buydown. And there are even out there, I think, some 1-0 buydowns. Now, different lenders will have slightly different variations of these programs. We have pretty much all of them here at the Pearrow Group. And so the way that it's going to work, let's take the 3-2-1 buydown. For example, I'll put it right up here on the screen. So it's very, very simple. The seller is going to pay a lump amount of money for this buydown, and it's going to go in tiers. So the 3, 2, 1 signifies how much your interest rate is going to be reduced. So on year 1, your interest rate is going to be reduced 3 points. For simplicity's sake, let's say you had a 6% interest rate and it was reduced 3 points. Now you have a 3% interest rate for year 1. On year 2, it reduces 2 points. Now we're at the 2 out of the 3, 2, 1, right? So 2 points were reduced now to a 4% interest rate on year 2. On year 3, we are going to have 1 point reduction. So from 6 to 5, now you've got a 5% interest rate. And then on your final year, year 4, your interest rate is going to go back up and readjust to that full original interest rate of 6%. And once the rate reverts, it stays there forever, and it is once again a fixed rate mortgage. And really, the 2-1, 1-1, and 1-0 buy downs follow the very same suit. The 2-1 buy down is going to be a 2% reduction for the first year, 1% for the second year. 1-1 is going to be 1% and 1%, and then 1-0 will be a 1% and then no reduction for that final year. Now, why would a seller pay your buy down, and why would a builder pay your buy down? Well, it's pretty simple. In this current market, the buyers, the consumers, you guys, are actually experiencing higher interest rates and higher payments, which are deterring people from buying certain homes in certain areas or even in general. And so builders and home sellers are more incentivized to try to help you guys to make these transactions more affordable for you, to make you more incentivized to want to go and buy their house because they want to sell it. It's plain and simple. It's supply and demand, and right now that is in your favor just a little bit when it comes to things like interest rate buy downs. So if you were thinking you'd like to buy a home but interest rates were too high, think again, because there are all kinds of programs out there that can get you seriously low interest rates, as low as we were seeing in 2020. And you could stay in those interest rates for a few years until things settle out. You can either get out of the home, pay the home off, refinance the home. There are so many options. Don't let rates ever deter you. Like I said in the beginning, you marry the purchase price in the house, you date the rate. Rate is always a temporary thing. And if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, you can actually reduce your interest rate without doing anything at all by literally just putting extra money towards your principal. And I'll make a whole nother video about that. It's really cool. You'd be surprised. An extra $200 a month could make your interest rate 2, 3, even 4 points lower, depending on the purchase price of the home and the monthly payment. So I hope that enlightened you guys a little bit about what buy downs are, how they work, whether or not they're right for you. If you're curious a little bit more about buy downs or how they may apply to your situation, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always happy. Guys, I offer free consultations for first-time home buyers, real estate investors, second homes. Doesn't matter what you're trying to do. If it has to do with financing real estate, I'm here to help you with it. I want to see you guys succeed, and I want to see you guys get low payments, beautiful homes, all the things you ever dreamed. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. Make sure to check out the PearrowGroup.com. We've got all kinds of mortgage tools and calculators, and in the description below, there's even more good stuff for you guys to check out and download.